Yes, thanks for staying with us on the Sports Show. Time to have a talk about bowls. We love the bowls.
We do.
This man, Tony Lucas, he's at the West Lakes Bowling Club being good enough. Come and have a chat with us, probably. Tony, how are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It'd be a millionaires club down there, wouldn't it be?
Down at West Lakes.
Full of millionaires down there.
You would think, wouldn't you?
You'd say so.
Yeah. Tony, would West Lakes be seen as one of the wealthier clubs in bowls in South Australia?
No, I think out in the suburbs you'd find there's a lot of teams and a lot of clubs that are in a similar position where finances are pretty hard to come by.
They are in every sport and every little club these days, but facilities-wise,
We've got a great facility down there.
Which is good.
Charles Sturt Council did a big renovation about 3 or 4 years ago.
Good.
We've got a fantastic facility. It's all been rebuilt. And it's a great place to play bowls.
Well done.
All right, mate, we got you in to talk about the development series down at Mildura v Victoria. Now, when we're talking off air about the development team, you said there's 2 teams of 16, men and women.
Correct.
I said to you, what's the age group? You said, between 50 and 15. Now,
That's correct.
Most development teams you sort of think they're under 18 and younger.
Yeah.
Bowls, fantastic that they've gone for that age group because a lot of people start late, don't they?
Yeah, I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
I tried to bang around on a golf course for many years. I got asked to go and play night hours one night, and I got the bug. And there's a lot of lads now that have got so much potential, and the sport is growing, and it's younger people all the time.
How long have you been playing, Tony?
Coming up 10 years this year.
How long do you reckon it takes before you start to feel like you've got a... I'm not doing, because obviously every game you go, I should have done better and I should have done this better, but you know how you develop a feel for the game? At what stage do you reckon?
Personally, I think you're improving all the time, but for me, I could say I started to feel like I belonged after about 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
But you're still learning all the time.
Yep.
Even at my stage of my career, I'm still learning all the time.
So the best is still ahead of you, and you're 52?
I really hope so. I really do hope so.
I'm 53, so I'm sort of hoping too.
Yeah. But there is a lot of talent, and there's a lot of good players coming through.
All right, let's talk about the development team off to Mildura. How do they select the 2 teams of 16?
We have a squad, men and women, of about 25 each. We do training, we do a lot of drills, and we have some what we call mark games. And if you perform well in those, you put your name up to be selected. And then the selectors will sit down and they discuss it, and they pick the best 16 they believe that have performed well in the trials.
Okay, it's pretty simple. Now, then obviously 11, 12, 13th of August, you're in Mildura,
Correct.
playing against Victoria.
Yes.
What's the format for that?
Okay, so we arrive about 11 o'clock on the Friday. We have a luncheon get together. So we have the first test on the Friday afternoon. Then we play 2 tests on the Saturday, one morning, one afternoon, obviously, and then one more on the Sunday.
Okay.
And then we all head on home Sunday lunchtime, hopefully with the trophy.
This format's been going how long?
It's been going a long time.
Yeah.
It's been going as long as I've been in the game, and probably well before.
So it's got a bit to it. Bit of bragging rights go with it, bit of everything.
It takes a lot of organising, but it's a really good avenue for people coming up through the ranks.
I'm not sure whether it's because of Bowls SA's involvement with us that you start to pay a bit more attention to it, but there seems to be a lot more recognition of bowls across all forms of media, be it social media platforms, digital platforms, and or traditional media. I think people are recognising the sport a lot more, with a lot more respect than they once did.
Yes, it was obviously seen as an old person's game.
Sure.
And I'm 52, and I feel like I'm the old person out there.
Yeah.
But it's just a great sport to get into, and personally, I wish I got into it sooner.
Is that right?
Yes.
You still have a hit of golf or not?
I try to, but I've gone back a fair bit with the handicap.
Maybe we had Nathan Peterson in here a couple of weeks ago, the cap on backwards, mate. He's pretty relaxed and all going pretty...
Yeah, I'm not as good looking as Nathan, but he's a good lad, Nathan.
He kind of had a character about him, and we started, bowls had always been seen as that very staid, very traditional, wear the white, and now it's night hours, there's colour, all ages are playing it, and everyone we've spoken to in the last couple of years just loves it.
Yeah, well, Nathan, when I first started playing, Nathan was playing at a Premier 1 level at West Lakes.
Okay.
He was probably about 4 foot tall, and the bowls looked like they were basketballs in his hand.
Because now he's 4'2".
Yeah,
so I mean,
yeah. No, he's a good lad, Nathan.
He is, yeah.
And he's going places. And he's a great lad, and I really hope he has a big
How
future.
is his style accepted on the bowls? When you're competing, because I reckon he'd be one of those polarising characters. You either don't mind him or you just don't like him.
Nathan likes to talk, but he can also do the walk.
Well, that's good though.
He can back himself up. So
yeah, he's good.
Absolutely.
I know Kane Cools is down there at West Lakes. He was kind of the first guy, if we go back, say, nearly 30 years ago, was really the first young kid to play bowls, and he almost stood out purely because here's this 14-year-old kid making the state teams,
Yes.
going off to play with all these guys that are 40 years old. Now it's just been enormous turnover. Why all of a sudden, say over the last 2 decades, do you think there's so many more young players gravitating to bowls?
I just think it's got a great appeal. The game's got a great appeal, and with the new Jack Attack series for the young school programs coming through,
Yep.
kids just get the bug, and it's just growing all the time.
So once you get bitten, it's like any sport, you're just bit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great game, and I don't think any of us as bowlers can ever say we've got the game down pat, because you're always learning.
You know what? We've been speaking about athletics also, but it's one of those sports that you can actually play whilst competing in another sport as well. You know, whereas you don't want to. If you want to be an athlete, you want to be a footballer or a golfer, you can also do bowls because it's almost as much social and mental as it is physical, probably.
It's a very mental game,
Yeah.
and the guys in Mildura and the girls, obviously,
Yes.
4 days of concentration.
Yeah.
It's very mentally draining. It's very hard to do for long periods of time.
Hey, can we just touch on that for a moment, Tony? Because you talk about how tough it is mentally. You know, just last week, if we use that example, Port Adelaide were saying that their players weren't mentally tough enough, you know, because they couldn't get up for the game. How difficult to get up for the players? Can you see that process with them is pretty strong on that mental side of the game?
At any level, anyone can beat anyone at any time. That is my belief. And you do have to be up and about, and you've only got to lapse your concentration for a short period of time, and you will get found out.
Yeah.
Okay, and you go away as a squad of 32 in total. Okay, you spend some time competing,
Correct.
but there's some social time. You're down in Mildura. Do they have some fun as well?
There is some protocols that have to be followed, but we do have a team dinner.
I love
Team
that.
dinner. Team dinner.
Yes.
Everyone stays in the same hotel, but
Yes.
obviously
there for a reason.
They're there for a reason. They're representing our state, and they have to follow the rules.
Yes.
And there are protocols that have to be followed.
And so how is it like normal teams or clubs when they get away, even though they're from differing clubs around the state, they all, as a rule, get on pretty well?
Yeah, off the green, the Victorians are great people, but
Yes.
as with any South Australian Victorian rivalry, we still like to win.
Yeah, no, good.
Well, Tony, we appreciate you coming in. Hopefully the rivalry
stuff, mate.
goes our way, mate. When you get
Yeah.
down to Mildura, we love to see the South Aussies stick it up the Vic. Stay with us. Still a little bit more to come on the show.